Hello, Betty Croswick here. I haven't been posting anything for over a month now, but not because I've been ill of anything. It's just that my computer exploded on Christmas Eve, and trying to buy a new computer around Christmas Eve when everybody is shut down is a nightmare. And then you get the printer to go with it and all the little office things. It's a nightmare for anybody my age, particularly. That would be just a cakewalk for a 9 or 10 year old today. But anyway, I'm back online, and I want to express some other a movement in my own thinking. Is that I have been thinking deeply this month. I've been offline about what I think of how COVID has affected us, everybody, how how this COVID may have been used as never let a good crisis go to waste sort of thing. But anyway, this morning, really what I want to do is do kind of an allegory with a book called Watership Down that was written by Richard Adams in 1972. So it's kind of an old book. But I really do like this book because it helps me place where I am and what I think about what is happening in the world into a broader perspective. So, Watership Down, and you may say, why the world are you talking about? Book about rabbits when everything is going to hell in a basket or in a whatever. But I think it's important to be able to look at literature, and not just science fiction, but as literature in general, as a fundamental way of metaphorically speaking, see ourselves. And Watership Down is one of these books. And it starts with two brothers. Their names are Hazel, the older brother, and Fiver, who is the younger brother. But the warren that they have been living in, which has been perfectly satisfactory, it has had safety, a large measure of safety, and the food was good. However, the bulldozers have caught up with them of clearing the land. So they have to move, or they feel they have to move. But there seems to be a contingent of the rabbits who don't really want to move right away. They want to stay longer, maybe until they actually start building stuff. They're just slow to react. So the thing about these two rabbits who are brothers, Hazel and Fiver, is that Fiver is the younger one and he's smaller, and but he has a gift in that he could smell rats, so to speak, before they even appeared. So he told his older brother Hazel that he sensed that this is terrible, that they should get out of this situation that they're in right away. So he convinced Hazel they should go, but first they consulted their chief, and the chief said, "No, that's crazy to depend on your younger brother for some kind of sign of what is to be done. No, you all stay. All the rabbits will stay, and that's an order." Well, Fiver and Hazel Five were convinced they just had to go. So they recruited some of the other rabbits of the warren to go with them to help find a new place. And so they looked for new places far away from their home warren and had some adventures, but eventually they found a place that seemed to be absolutely perfect. It was a warren that was secluded. It had a beautiful garden of many lovely vegetables that rabbits like to eat, and a large population of rabbits that included many does, and the home team, so to speak, were short on does because it was heavy on males. So they decided this was the perfect place to settle in. Now, Fiver, with his sensitive ability to look at what might not be quite right about a situation, he was a critic, so to speak. But he couldn't see anything that he could really point to that made him feel uneasy. So he settled in with his brother and the others from the home team, and they were having a reasonably, really good time. And but then Fiver began to notice that some of the older rabbits that had been there a while and had gotten fat and, from eating on all these, feasting on these vegetables for so long and in rabbit time. And he noticed that they disappeared in a sort of frequent but not too frequent way that didn't really alarm the other rabbits. It just happened once in a while. And but of course Fiver didn't like this at all. But he didn't know why, because the other rabbits didn't seem alarmed that a certain rabbit was gone. And, things do happen to rabbits out in the wild. So he couldn't put his finger on it. But then when one of the home team rabbits got caught in a snare that they were familiar with the way these rabbit snares look. It hit Fiver, right in his spot of alarm, because it came to him that this was not a good place to be, because the farmer who owned this farm and these gardens was fattening them up for the boiling pot. So he says, we've got to get out of here right now. So he convinced his brother Hazel and the other rabbits from the home team to move. And they took a couple of the does with them, just in case. And from the other team, from their welcoming people who had sort of sucked them into this wonderful garden. And so they left, and they eventually found a place where they could all be and prosper at Watership Down. However, when I'm looking at this story, because it impressed me, because this is the way things happen, one kind of slide away thing at a time. And I started thinking about Watership Down and how in our present situation where the COVID shuts everything down and or can prohibit you from moving across the country, or can take away your freedoms that are in the Constitution. And because they're being taken away, our freedoms that are covered by and protected by the Constitution are going away one at a time. But so this is worrisome. And I think there are some fibers in the truckers' protests that they sense, things are not right. We are being relieved of what we should have to protect us from overreach by the government, but that's being taken away one at a time. And but then I've been heartened lately by a man named Brian Pickford. He is the ex-premier of Newfoundland. He served from 1979 to 1989. And he now has launched a constitutional challenge against the Trudeau government for not allowing freedom of movement across Canada and in and out of Canada that is provided for us by the Constitution of Canada. So Brian Peckford has just launched a lawsuit, and he has a team of lawyers. And as the ex-premier, he has a lot to say about the Constitution. So because he was in the formation of some parts of this of the Constitution that protects all Canadians, or should be protecting all Canadians. So we'll see about that, how that goes. And so my views about the COVID and the rules that have been laid down by the government, I also consider to be a horrible overreach. And I feel gratitude for the truckers who they've risked their jobs, their lives. It's not easy to be a contrarian in Canada or anywhere in the world. And they have managed to draw real attention to the what I consider to be the injuries that everybody is suffering by the overreach of the Trudeau government. And so we'll look and see, keep in touch with how Mr. Brian Pickford fares with the first federal court, and then of course it will go to the Supreme Court of Canada. So we'll watch and see, and my hopes for this are high, because I think it's kind of a disgrace for Canadians, so many Canadians, to be so willing to go into the boiling pot, so to speak, that the fiber saved the home team from. So I'm hoping that Brian Peckford is going to be the fiber that puts some constitutional weight behind the unease that everybody within a certain faction, working class people, are feeling about this injury to the body politic. So I'll talk about this some more later. Okay, thank you. Next time. Bye.